Hey everyone, and welcome to Monthly Market Report. It's Alissa Coram and Jim Roppel here of the Roppel Report. Jim, is always great to see you.
Great to see you. We have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah, we do. 3 days up in a row, off the lows, a pretty big day in the market today, and a lot of devastation in recent weeks amongst all the winners. So, where does that leave us now? Jim, we have you here to provide that clarity for us. So, we're looking forward to picking your brain.
Well,
I'm speaking on behalf of our community when I say we. Looking forward to picking your brain.
well, in the comments for this promo thing, a dude named at stock and whatever put the most double great kick-ass golden goose up there, and that's exactly how I feel. We need to do a market temperature check right now. What do you think?
Let's do it. Let's get
Okay,
right into it.
pull it up. Um, let's see here. Okay, can you look at? Well, let me know when you pull it up.
The bull bear?
No, the market surge.
Okay. Oh, you wanna look at the indexes
Yes,
first.
please.
Alright. Yep. Let's go.
Okay, diamonds.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
all-time new high close. Okay, I just right there, full stop. But let's put it back in gear and look at IWM.
Yeah, that looked great today too.
Okay, what is it? 2% off the all-time high. Held
Clearing
the
a trend
system.
line. Mhm.
Okay, MDY looks
Also a nice
fantastic.
gain.
Look at XHS. This is one of the best patterns sector-wise in the whole market.
Okay, healthcare services. Oh, yeah, that's a
I,
great run up
I
and
mean, it's
orderly pullback here.
super orderly after a big semi. It's clearly a prior uptrend. You could almost
Mhm.
call it a flag pull. And then look at please SX CSX, please.
Okay. Mhm.
Alex Trebek, question. Golden Goose says America's shipping goods all across the country in mass. Rail car loadings record high. Um, you know,
Yeah, look at that
the
weekly.
world primarily travels on digital rails, and that's why semiconductors are so critical. We'll talk about that last, but there's undenying it. The hard goods are moving across the country. Please look at XLF.
Yep. Financials.
And then, like, there's the Mac Daddy, and then there's El Jefe. Mac Daddy would be JP Morgan,
Mhm.
and then El Jefe is NVIDIA. Okay, like, is NVIDIA robust? No, but it came ripping off of almost a little trap on the bottom.
Mhm.
It is not up, it's not down, it's been sideways for a long time, but it's not in trouble. Now, look at banks, please, KBE.
Outperformance over the last couple of months.
Okay, where what no, you look at Bear Bull, we have 42.1% bears. What I mean, like, is everybody in the world in memory and optics? Like, I mean, the rest of the market looks fantastic. I mean, it looks it would be hard to come up with a better move for the broad market. Now, again, I don't necessarily own the broad market. I'm in a high growth area, high earnings growth area. So I'll have to look at everything. If you look at DRAM or SMH,
Right.
those sectors would need a follow through day,
Mhm.
but the broad market does not. And I don't get it. How could we have 42.1% bears and 31 bulls with everything basically within spitting distance of an all time new high or a full blown all time new high? The golden goose is rocking. Um, is it a time that you can crush it in high growth names? Not at this second, because we just had a pullback in NASDAQ of like 10%, which it just seems like there's an awful lot of hand wringing over something that happens in tech stocks like 4 times a year. The average, okay, I might be a little off on this, but my aged memory, but I think we need the average market, average year has 4.1 follow through days a year. So this is like super garden, absolutely garden variety. And people are walking around like they've lost their minds. And I'm like, if you can't take a pullback like that, you shouldn't be in the market. You should be in T bills. Okay. Um,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think unpacking that a little bit more, you have a stock, a lot of growth traders that were in, including myself, this SanDisk here riding high from that March to early June timeframe here. And even with a little bit of a snapback, Jim, it's still 45% off the highs. So perhaps a lot of traders using leverage and we'll get into that piece of it too, or oversized positions and not managing risk and not looking at the technical action, just relying on either the fundamentals or the story and seeing devastation in their portfolios, not hedging. Like I know you like to hedge or use that guardrail, the 50-day line. And I think, some traders out there, we're trying to give this one a little bit of room, a little bit of patience. I was trimming before it went below the guardrail and tried to give it a little bit of room. But, I just traders out there who have too big of positions and they're holding this all the way down. I think that's where some of the issue lies.
for sure, correct, 100%. You mentioned the guardrail. It must be honored. It's just a zero defect policy. But SanDisk went from 40 to 23, 4, 500.
Yeah.
It's completely 100% it's earned it. It's like the military veteran who saved 140 lives, did 3 combat tours. He gets to go home and chill. I mean, uh, this has been the greatest stock, and I've been a trader for 40 years. It's of all the liquid names, there's never been a stock like this in my life. Now, there's been stocks that have had bigger moves over longer periods, but like Cisco, everyone goes Cisco, but Cisco had multiple 40, 50% pullbacks and went on to greater things. Now, will, by the way, Cisco right now looks like somewhat of a double bottom. And I don't love the wedginess up under the 50, and it's not a
Mhm.
high growth name. But if it comes out over the 2 lower pivots, I'd have to say analyst estimates are quite low. So I'm totally tangential, but you're right. SanDisk, listen,
And stocks like it, the whole memory space that you mentioned,
it's
the
hard.
NBISs of the world, which is snapping back.
And SanDisk was also tricky because it had a couple climax runs, which
Right.
by all historical standards, it's just like there's very few stocks that have multiple of them. And then it went on again. So it kind of
Mhm.
trained people to be a bit complacent, but there's no excuse below the 50. Either it's a trim, a hedge, or a sell.
Mhm.
And if Bill was here, he'd say, "Well, why didn't you sell some into the climactic action?" I mean,
Right.
the market has been uniquely robust, and the pullback in the memory and optics, 100% completely entitled to it. I personally was slow to recognize it, like many, and I pull back too much? Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of people who have been hit really, really hard, and because they were so over concentrated, like you said.
Yeah.
If that's the case, the remedy is go through, review all your stock trades in the last 6 or 9 months. If you're down too much, you've made mistakes, own them. Self responsibility. Figure out why you didn't sell at the guardrail. Why didn't you sell into the climax? And then review it. And guess what? It's totally chill. If I'm anywhere near close to correct, my McKenzie chart's over here. McKenzie says that the
Like
AI build out
80-year cycle? Is that what you said?
2070.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now that's a heck of a lot of runway and and I believe, listen, when you have the biggest innovation in history, the most dramatic impact on society, you have to expect the most dramatic impact on percentage up, percentage down. And because McKinsey says 2070 or 60, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but that doesn't stop asteroids from rolling into our universe. Okay, they're going to occur. In the internet build out, we had a global currency crisis in 98. There's
Mhm.
going to be multiple of those. There will be wars. There will be bear markets, and there will be many big bear markets along the way. But All right, I'll chill.
Well, we have a lot more to get to with you, Jim, including uh, we have a lot of attention that has been put on the AI trade with this situational awareness hedge fund, Leopold Aschenberger. I want to get your take on that. When we did see that snapback in the market starting late last week. Pre market was when the news was making the rounds that Citadel, or at that time, I don't think we even knew it was Citadel yet, had bought the entire public book. So, how does that dynamic play into the whole AI trade here?
Almost every bull cycle I've ever been in has seen blowups. Now, the difference is this was a larger blow up, and it was well, first of all, it's cleansing. It's cleansed the
Okay.
market, like the Kospi down
Yeah.
40% in 44 days, of 1.2 million Korean accounts, margin calls,
Right.
3.2% of every account in Korea was not margin call, but wiped out. Back to Leo. Like, I know him. I never talked to him, but this kid is brilliant. Did he make a mistake? Absolutely. He's 24. When I was 24, I blew my account up 4 times, and I'm a fraction as smart as he is, and I've come way back. I will bet anything he will become one of the most prolific hedge fund managers in history. All these guys dunking on him are going to look bad down the road. He will come back. He's learned a lesson, like I learned my lesson, and he's way smarter than me. And he's got a bigger following, and he's got more attraction. This guy's going to become an absolute monster. I don't think he's a Niederhofer. Okay, I don't think he's a blow up artist. I think he's just young. At 61, I can call him young. He's going to be back. And it also says because you are right on fundamentals doesn't mean you can make money in the short term. He's probably very right. He's learned. He still has capital. I would give him money absolutely, and I think a lot of other people are really kind of waiting to give him money.
Mm.
So uh, pro Leo.
There you go. Yeah, that's such a great point that I think individual investors can take too is the conviction, the thesis, but also the risk management piece, right?
It's the game. It's position size.
Yeah.
Let 4x. No need. No need. Again, he achieved returns like almost no one else, and I think everyone's jealous of him, especially guys in my seat. Other hedge fund dudes. I mean, I'm having a very good year. I'm not up whatever he says he's up 80%,
80%.
something like that. He's going to have to dial it back, and he's going to have to learn some lessons. But this kid, Leo, call me.
Be
I'll
okay.
send you some money.
There you go. I like it. Okay, so one more, at least for now, AI related question, Jim. And that is you do see this tendency out there with some investors who want to buy stocks on the cheap, right? XYZ stock has a great story. It's come down a lot. Now, this is the time to get in. How do you balance that sort of thinking that you hear out there with looking for quality setups? There's a such thing as a quality company, maybe needing more time, right? Just patience. Is that what you would advise here?
At this minute, there's about 5 stocks I see that have accelerating everything, great fundamental stories. Like Datadog tried to come out. Now, again, Datadog doesn't quite have the high octane horsepower. It has great stability, high 20% metrics, but it
Hmm.
was lethargic today. And maybe we need a follow through day in high growth tech. But I do love the solution they have for over usage of tokens. And it's kind
Mm.
of like a bugaboo that the Bears are all talking about. They have a great, well, they've had a historically great 99 comp, wonderful metrics. But this is a new product, the N and Can Slim, but it couldn't get out. It couldn't attract that additional power to really get it out of there. So it's time to chill for a minute. But there's a lot. Okay, I want to answer your question. What about all the stocks that have great numbers, but they're way below pivots? They're way and there's a lot of double bottoms setting up. It's not time until the price validates your fundamental or belief. So it's time to chill, and we may have to
Mhm.
chill for a good bit of time. Again, the formula that's made me many years, great years, where I have a big quarter, Q1, Q2, maybe rough in Q3. I have to back off, keep my mental capital intact and my real capital. And then Q4 comes along and off we go. If you're up 20, 30, 40, 50% this year, or even 15, you could double that in Q4 and have how many 30, 40% years do you need? And that's totally plausible here. The historic recipe for a big year is totally in play for most people. Some people, and I know some professionals, they're down 20, 10, 15%. It completely can be recovered here. The goose is real.
There you go. And so Max Linear, just kind of another example of one of these stocks where you see that
Mhm.
accelerating growth had the explosive move, but it's not actionable
What's the
at
market
these
cap?
levels. What's the market temp?
Cap.
Oh, market cap here, 6 billion.
Okay, that's in the zone. I mean, I don't for some reason, this stock just looks rickety to me. It came out of nowhere from nearly almost a penny stock. But
Mhm.
if you look at like an SIMO, they make timing chips, or is it SITM? Both of them. They have rapidly accelerating triple digit earnings.
Mhm.
These are some maybe to the IBD faction. This is a somewhat known or understood name, but Wall Street just they don't know what these are. Now look, that looks like a wicked downtrend, and it is, but there's a double bottom in place, and people are like, well, how could it get all the way up to the pivot so quickly? Well, look at Google.
Right.
Google has one of the biggest floats in the world, and it got up off its knees, and it's sitting right at a pivot. If Wall Street can generate the horsepower or the money to turn the wheels to get this thing up right to a pivot in what, 7 days,
Mhm.
SITM could be hoisted up there in minutes.
Yeah,
So
that's a really good point. So what do you make of all of these mega caps coming back? And I guess this is another AI related question because you're seeing a lot in the most recent earnings reports, great earnings, but huge cash burn related to all the AI spend.
the
So, but I mean, these stocks are really making a comeback right now. Amazon, Microsoft, Meta still looks weak, but it too is bouncing back.
how do I say this? I saw Bill speak publicly for free 30 years ago, and he's like, Cisco has absolutely topped, like emphatically. And I wasn't really communicating with him a lot then. And out of the blue, I got to speak with him about a month or two later. He's like, I'm back in Cisco. These names look deathly
Mhm.
ill. You don't know. They broke the 50. They turned down.
Mhm.
They're starting to recover. Like they have cycles, and some of these stocks have not 9 lives but 15. Um, you have to go with it. You can't when the whole market breaks the 50. You don't know is a bear market at foot, but you have to take
Mhm.
heed. If it comes back, and there's corroborating evidence like transports and the rails moving, you reassess and you flow. You have to flow with the tide in and out. And the big mega caps, the market believes, and that's all you need to know. The market did not believe. IGV still does not look wonderful at all. But the market's mysterious and it's unpredictable. I don't predict the future.
Mhm.
Um, I just follow that trend. And when they turn, what do I think about the mega caps? I think they've turned up in several cases. And
Yeah,
that's look at Mags. Mags
yeah,
came out of the coffin today.
it did. And I will share I shared this on IBD Live. I did pick up a little bit today because I didn't think that a lot of the mega caps were in ideal positions individually to be bought, but I wanted to get some exposure here. So, uh, doing it via the mags. Jim, how are you positioned here? I know you said for the Nasdaq you're waiting on a follow through day. We're right up to that 50-day, the 26,000 level. we're not all too far from that previous marked high. So if we can get a little bit more momentum here, I think that also would be looking quite compelling. You mentioned all of these other areas, whether it's the Dow, the mid caps, the small caps, RSP. We haven't even looked at the S&P 500 and like
Look at that.
look at that.
I mean, that if that was an
Like the
individual
Mona
stock,
Lisa
it's
of
like it doesn't have the duration of a Mona Lisa, but it looks incredibly
yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
The words incredibly powerful, and we have 42% bears. Like, there's gonna be okay, so all my subscribers, I sometimes I'll say, "How much cash do you have?" And
Mm,
most people, I think, there's a huge amount of cash on the sidelines, and that's when markets bottom. Now, if
mm,
this goes through the top and there's among people who are trend followers, intermediate term trend followers, if they're 50, 80% in cash and that makes a new high, that could kick off some type of stampede. Now, we're not in the seasonality for that, okay? All the big dogs are out in the Hamptons, in their boats and
yeah.
playing the bridge. So maybe it'll be us little guys, who are grinding out in the world. But if that comes through and there's a ton of cash on the sidelines, people are going to chase. And that the S&P
Mm,
looks spectacular. That today's move is
yeah.
just like I think about all the time. What would Bill do? And Bill would say, "Well, a move like that, you've got to act so." I mean, we haven't had. You don't need a follow through day on the S&P.
Yeah.
You don't need a follow through day on Russell. You just need some breakouts, which we haven't quite seen yet. I mean, Amazon was kind of a breakaway, like you talked about, like a super
Mhm.
gap. I mean,
Yeah.
that's again, when you discuss, I mean, to move a float that large, that's that's mega horsepower. That's mega buying.
Yeah.
I mean, you put that kind of buying power into an SITM, it's going to go up 1,000 points.
Yeah, pretty impressive here, and you're seeing the fundamentals accelerate along with it. So I think in terms of our style of trading, we really like seeing the pickup in growth. So will this be one of the new mega leaders? We'll have to see. But an interesting move over this 2-day period, no doubt, for Amazon. I want to know a little bit more about how you're positioned here, Jim, with a lot of the leadership from the April-May timeframe largely now out of favor. Where are you seeing the leadership today?
I'll say I'm very heavy in biotech, and I'm
Okay.
getting swamped in Lilly. um, but XBI to me, well, Lilly's got earnings before the open on Wednesday, so
Yeah.
I'm going to have to hedge that. Okay,
Yeah.
earnings season in general has been terrible. Uh, but you said Amazon. I'm reverting back. I wanted to say this.
Okay.
Amazon has a unique history of when earnings season has started off crummy, all of a sudden Amazon has come out before. Like I was almost all in cash a decade or so ago,
Mm,
and we had a bad early start to earnings season, and it just comes ripping out, and it kind of changed the tone of the whole season. And immediately, because of Amazon, I just started buying everything that came out after that. Because but other stocks came out in the coming days and weeks and corroborated it.
mm.
Back to where I am heavily in biotech. I have net a lot of cash. I'm really just super hedged. I'm not really
Yeah.
in I have I have some raw cash, but mostly hedged positions, and I'm patient. I'm waiting. I do not if this thing doesn't break out, if it rolls over, I'm just fine. I'm just chill. I can wait. We've had a
Mm,
spectacular start to the year. I think the normal recipe for a monster year is in play. The technology's there to give us the opportunity. The cash levels are high. The speculation's largely been wrung out. And I just think we need a little more spark on this somewhat dry tinder.
mhm. And so let's talk about some stocks. You mentioned Lilly. This is something that I own as well and trimmed a little bit today. Didn't like the outside day downside reversal. with the broad market moving with how it moved. So yeah, I either hedge or exiting heading into the earnings depending on how the next day goes really. But your thoughts on exactly how you would hedge this, Jim,
I
heading into the
will
earnings?
almost certainly be buying a bear put spread. I'll probably look for a close to a delta neutral put, and then I'll sell a put way lower to cover part of the cost of the higher level put. But these guys have a court case going. They have there's multiple issues that they're kind of out of their control, and the market's a little soft on this.
Mm,
The fundamentals to me are spectacular, but I cannot not cut my losses.
yeah.
So I love it, but a lot of stocks I've loved recently have not worked. I was a massive circle bull that blew up. Um, but look, the time is just not at foot. But I believe that there will be more AI agents than humans, and I don't think it's going to take 20 years. I think it's going to take by the rate of adoption, it's going to be much faster. Circle has the number one stablecoin usage on by agents, but the market totally disagrees right now. There's a ton of competition,
Mm.
not for agentic use of coin, but it seems like there's no chance that is it 140 the first pivot.
140 right here.
Yes.
Let's
Okay, and the
see. I
stock's
think it said
trading at
136.
okay, and the stock's
Yeah.
trading at 60.
Yeah.
Guess what? Some good news, and this thing could roar up I mean, people totally underestimate what's possible
Mhm.
in short periods. I always say
Right.
bear trends and bull trends can emerge in 3 days. If the same thing can happen, if they report earnings Wednesday morning too, I think. If they come out and
Mhm.
say, who knows what they could say? I'm not saying it's going to crack that number, but at some point, I do believe it may. I believe the odds are higher that it will eventually,
Mhm.
but it completely disagrees with me right now. And
Yeah.
Lilly, I love Lilly, but it's not in gear at this minute. It's a little soggy. It's taking
Mhm.
water over the side of the boat.
It is. And Jim, you mentioned Datadog, and looking at some of the nuances with today's bar, right? And I guess even Friday's bar. What are your thoughts on Snowflake? This is also in the software sector, and I think it's interesting how, just broadly speaking, in terms of the AI thesis, it wasn't too long ago where it's like, all right, AI's killed software, software's dead. Now it seems like there's a shift in the AI thesis when it comes to software and when it comes to the hardware and data center build out. And you've talked about these sort of ebbs and flows, these waves that you'll get within the broader cycle.
Okay, there hasn't been a lot of volume. It could use more volume as it emerged over the recent highs, but it is acting. Price trumps volume by 45, 55. Uh, it's like the rotation
Mhm.
when aggressive memory optics AI names started to roll over. The money went into biotech, and now all
Mhm.
of a sudden those names have caught a little lift, and biotech's kind of rolled over a little bit. You have to have conviction. If you're jumping all over the place like a fish, you're gonna you're gonna get butchered. I just think you have to have again with cushion.
Yeah.
Cushion is wildly, wildly undervalued, underrated. Even Bill didn't really. Bill would say you play against your cushion, but when he would speak, I don't think he gave enough attention. Me telling Bill what to do. I wish he would have said more about it because it
Mhm.
allows you to sit through some rotation. Now, if you're overweighted, Leo, you're going to have some problems. But I wish it had more volume. I do think that the lack of horsepower coming up might be due a little bit to the summer doldrums, or people don't, or it's super early. I'm not sure, but without the volume, if it doesn't work, it's not like, oh, gee, how did that happen? Now, if it can still gain strength and keep going, like Victoria's Secret, it's just kind of it's lethargic at all time highs.
Mhm.
It's acting it's at all-time highs, but it is not robust. Like, the move off the lows um, like a month or 2 ago, it had this fantastic up move, and now it's just subtly advancing. It's
Mhm.
not rocking. So I think the fundamentals here are spectacular, and the market loves this name. It just isn't pouring money into it at this second. But if you don't have patience, you may never see the next leg.
Mhm. So speaking of that patience, what's a stock that you have a big cushion in that you have hedged that you're still sticking with and it needs a little bit more love
Oh,
from the market?
how about half my portfolio? um, Insight. Well, I don't
Okay.
even have that big of a cushion. I'm really, I've really, the names I'm having that I've had have heavily hedged are very, very damaged.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just kind of waiting it out, giving them a little more time. And it's critical to know. I think I talk a lot about hedging.
Mhm.
Hedging hits the pause button on tax uh, long-term gains seasoning.
Yeah.
So I'm well aware, but I am going to give these names a little bit more time. And so I don't have anything that's like ready to rock at this minute. I have
Right.
biotech
But
pullback.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think even some of the ones that are out of favor at the moment that you have big cushions on, it's just instructive to know, okay, when should you be patient with a hedge or when should you ultimately throw in the towel? Is it a certain um move off the highs? Is it an undercut of a longer term moving average? Is it the relative strength rolling over a certain amount? Or is it sort of, some of your friends, Eve and her fellow co-authors, the mental capital
Yes,
preservation element. How do you think about that?
I think that below the 50-day, you have to get out in one way or another. I'm holding many names that are well below the 50, but I don't have a capital I have a capital surplus. Now, if I see names roaring out and I need capital and I don't
Mhm.
wanna pay margin balance, I'll liquidate that.
Got it.
I'll rotate. But right now, I don't have a capital problem. I have a surplus of capital. It's kinda like if you have a trough and there's 10 pigs in it and it's full and a new pig wants to get in, he's gotta push one out. You know, Bill would say he never said that. Bill said, weed the garden."
Mhm.
Well, I'm giving these names more time because I know history and I know they do pull back 30, 40, 50% regularly.
Mhm.
Look at the first 100 pages of the most recent
Yeah.
book. I'm willing to sit through I'm totally hedged. I will not dislodge these names until I need the money.
Okay. So, what about folks out there who wanna buy these now?
Who want to buy?
Yeah.
Patience. I don't think if Datadog can't go and we need some of these like Google could be the beginning. Like you could start with a Google if it comes out, and you have to say, look, it's a $1 trillion market cap, or how many trillion is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, that looks really good. If that comes out, you can put some money to work there, maybe buy the Qs and see how that works, and see if some of these more high octane names can jump out. But I see a lot of fundamental metrics that look spectacular, but the
Mhm.
technicals need to line up. We need a couple non-recovery bounce type stocks to go,
Yeah.
and we need the flock to expand to some new names possible.
Yeah. So we kicked off the episode talking about whether it was the Dow, mid caps, small caps, I mean the S&P, the transports, we looked at some of these other area financials, all healthcare services. Do you think we should be looking at ETFs then? You mentioned the Qs for exposure. So is that what you would be looking for now with the leadership in individual stocks either unclear or out of position?
Yes, I think that the can slim practitioners red hot market is not at foot at this minute, but it's not unthinkable we could get a follow through date tomorrow or in the next 10 days, and that new names could emerge. But at this minute, it's not in gear. It's not. I have a hedge fund managers call. I talked to these guys a I have a couple of them. Anyway, question we always ask is, can you make money right now? Well, you
Mhm.
can, and maybe if you're patient in the indexes or some of these other names, but the traditional, can slim names are not making us money today. That can change in seconds. If you look at like, again, this is a tiny little name, but BLLN, uh,
Yeah.
Cloudflare, Net is again that base in Net is really erratic, like super
Mm.
erratic. But that's an AI agentic beneficiary. ASML has a double bottom. Hinge. Now this is a flea of fleas almost. It's the first pullback to the 50. Um, Amazon hit a super gap. I mean, if you really needed exposure, you could have bought that today. CrowdStrike is trying to move up.
Yeah.
Uh, NTAP is a like like what 60-80 billion dollar market cap with low earnings growth is trying to come out. I mean, like that could be a turnaround, like HPE, Hewlett Packard. Um, these are not high horsepower names. Like I love ASX. Again, don't throw fish at me, but like STX is not a million miles below the 50. It's held up fairly well.
Yeah.
Now we
How's
have,
AMD doing? Let's see.
yeah, well,
AMD, Dell, back above the 50, had
they're
a pretty
loose.
good day.
They are like totally in the ballpark. Like you should be looking at them. But I was stopped out of that like 2 weeks ago. And then another person who, portfolio manager who works for me, got stopped out the other day. I think we might have been forcing it because the wide high to low in
Yeah.
there. Oh, look, that was another signal the market was toppy. We had a lot of insane vol in these names, and I tweeted out once.
Mhm.
I said when the volatility gets like this, and honestly, it's not like this. It's unprecedented. Stocks are moving. I mean, like almost every single day, there's stocks 15%, 20% moving. Um, that's not normal. I do. Again, you heard me say dramatic historic technological innovation is going to result in dramatic uh, moves in stocks. I think we're in a new regime here. I don't believe you said it. You said something earlier. You said AI. This is another AI situation. Well, everything's AI. The
Right.
world is moving, but it's all moving to the beat of AI. It's such a so the Volin ARM, the Volin AMD, the Volin a lot of these stocks we've talked about is just I would I would like him to tighten up, but I'm not sure we're going to see it. And the solution is let one of them go out, like see if it goes and if it can hold. But mostly, I will not chase a stock like that. I will have to see if the market's going to tolerate it. And that's yet to be seen. There's a lot of words.
Yeah, no, and then if you do we love the words. And if you do see the market tolerate it, then what would be your next move? Okay, these stocks with this type of personality are working. How do you manage risk then with position size? I know position size is key for you.
I would go after the next one in smaller size, but it's like this. Out of a bear market, how far will the market let the Nasdaq extend over the 50-day? Well, if it's only 6 or 7%, you know that that's what it'll allow at that minute.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if it extends to 15%, now you can say, well, next time it gets up to 7, 8, 9, I'll see if it can go to 15 before I get too defensive. You have to say, what will the market allow?
Yeah.
When does the market bring gravity into play? That's a best guess. I just winged that off the cuff.
Yeah.
That's how I
I
would
love that.
handle it.
All right, that sounds great, Jim. Okay, moving on. I know you are focused on the lockup ending for SpaceX. Do you have updated thoughts on this one?
I occasionally I get it right, and I said, "No base, no
You
buy,
did.
no ring, no bring." And
Yeah.
this thing just never gave you a real legit chance to get involved with it. And I remember John Templeton in 2000, he said, well, he gave every student in Georgia who wrote him an essay on why they should go to college a free college education, and he used the money he made shorting internet stocks after the lockups came. Now, I believe we are way early, super early in this cycle. And so we'll see how the market absorbs these shares. It's, a massive amount, but it would, if these stocks that are super volatile and loose break out, it will signal greater froth. Maybe the market could be deeper into this cycle, this wave within this mega super cycle than I think. Uh, we'll see how these tranches of unlock get absorbed by the market. But a
Mhm.
lot of it's probably already taken into consideration looking at what it's done.
Yeah, this did not stick the landing there, at least as of yet. All right, Jim. When it comes to finding the next batch of leaders, I think that's what a lot of folks look to you for. And you rattled off a number of names that you're watching, but remind the audience of what you're really looking for from a fundamental and technical perspective. You love liquidity,
I do.
you love high growth, anything else in particular as we're screening, looking for those diamonds in the rough that we should be thinking about right now?
Well, if you could pull up SITM. Now, here's the thing. That thing just doesn't trade. It sometimes trades 300,000 shares a day. If you pull up the sales, earnings growth, triple digit, 99 comp, margins expanding, management has a huge position. It's just not, you need to throw a zero on the volume. Again, the market, I can't see your screen, but what's the market cap on that?
14 billion.
Okay, that is the bottom end, middle of mid cap. That is usually where liquidity comes in. And I above 9 billion to 12, 13, 14, 15, if you can catch a name in there that's
Mm,
liquid, that's they've overcome a lot of the pitfalls that I most IPOs never do anything. Most of them are not profitable, they're junk. They never get through the hurdles. You get up to 10 billion, 12, 13 billion, you've overcome a lot and you're profitable. Now all of a sudden you might be in the position to go to the bottom of large cap. I love that market cap with liquidity, with numbers like this. ASX has great numbers. Clearly not in gear at this minute. I look for stocks like that, but they're just not. Look, we're so early here. If this thing's gonna, if growth, the
mhm.
high octane material that we're looking for gets in gear, we there's no need to run here.
Yeah.
But God, that excites me. Um,
Yeah.
Google fires me up. I'm looking for names like those ones I just rambled off.
There you go.
A little like they're never going to have alphabet liquidity. To get, what an anomaly Google is to have the type of sales and earnings growth with that market mega cap. I mean,
Right.
this just speaks to the revolutionary situation with fundamentals globally in AI, where
Mhm.
NVIDIA can run at these whacked out growth rates with this
Yeah.
type of mega cap. The world's
Mhm.
never seen it, and the
Yeah.
world's never seen anything like AI.
Mhm. Yeah, and Amazon had a huge quarter earnings-wise too.
Yes,
That triple digit growth there,
we're just in this.
kind of out of nowhere.
We're in this crazy, crazy moment, and I don't think it's a moment. I think it's going to be a decade or more, and it's we're so early. People are calling for the top, and it's overvalued. And every bear in the world, every Jim Chanos is just screaming from the rooftops, and they're like, I don't understand how they don't understand history. Or maybe I don't understand it. I just buy the new highs.
But, it's good to have, bears, right? If you want the bull trend to continue,
You
you
need bears and you
need
need pullbacks and
yeah,
corrections.
and pullbacks and corrections and cash on the sidelines.
And
Yeah.
we have a lot of pieces in place. We've had a wringing out of excess. We've got high cash. We had a blow up, a major blow up. Not, usually funds that blow up are, 400, 500 million, a billion or two, not 24 billion. This is great stuff. And that chart right there, we could be at the beginning. We're going to see the blue chip go first. The quality institutions might be timid
Mm,
here, so they're not going to buy some of those high octane names I looked at. They're going to wait and see if the big dogs, the blue chippers like Google and the net index can stick the landing. They'll get a little more confidence, a little more bold. They've been stung in the memory, and if that
mhm.
holds, uh, I don't think we're quite ready on seasonal. Again, I don't like seasonals. The market doesn't know what a calendar is. I've seen
Yeah.
massive rallies in the middle of the summer, and I've seen horrible fourth quarters. I mean, the market can do anything. But
Mhm.
with today's action, especially the S&P,
Yeah.
that looks great to me. SanDisk's earnings could be a I don't expect it to rectify their problems.
Mhm.
I think this is gonna need a very long time to cool and rebase. Like, it could take into next year. That would not be really unusual. It may never come back. It's earned its place in history books. It's a hall of it is
Hall
you
of
could
Famer,
possibly
yeah.
could it be the best number 1 Hall of Famer?
Could be. I mean, that was in such a short time. I mean, pretty incredible.
So, I'm I am I'm a 10 bull long term. Intermediate term, I'm kinda like 5, 6. Short term, I'm like 4, 5. I could go either way very quickly, but we're right at an inflection point here on multiple indexes. This is
Mhm.
really a critical moment, and I think a lot of people who've been stung, they're like, "I'm going on vacation." They're not
That's
looking.
true. Yeah. So, in addition to the index level action, looks like you want to see more leaders working.
Yes, clearly, we
You want to
need
see that evidence.
and the best time for that to occur is where new names show themselves. It's earnings season.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
there
important
are.
names coming out, like, this week.
Yeah, yeah, this week and next week for sure.
Are we up a lot in after hours? Palantir had a good number.
Let's see. Palantir up 11%. Let's see what the Qs are doing. Not moving a whole lot. Up 0.1%. Not seeing too much in SPY either. But yeah, Palantir had a big number.
Okay, so the prescription would
Yep.
be it it would be a 10%, 15%, 20% chance that we just rip right out. And if it did, I would suspect we would have a violent pullback at some point down the road. Now, if we digest right here for a week, 2, 3 weeks, and then come out, you could legitimately say possibly the Q3 historical slowdown has been absorbed, and that the run that we may get would be more durable. The If we come out, the speculative nature of the market could be stronger than I think, and it would be, I would think, more fragile. But until we see the supporting characters emerge, I think I would try to stay with the liquid Googles and maybe some ETFs. And I just don't want people to worry. Okay. If you haven't done well, and I know a lot of people struggled recently, certainly with July. Can we talk? What's the World Investing Championship thing? What's that called?
The US Investing Championship, USIC.
Okay, so the guys in the big dog category, which is only $1 million, like they that's not really a problem for liquidity. As of June, that list was not looking like one of the big IBD guys. What's his last name? Begins with a T.
George Kachuk.
Yeah, he's doing great, but the rest
Yeah.
of them were not doing very well at all. And that was before July. Okay, I, if they weren't all in cash, they got crushed. We People have had a rough time in memory and optics, and that's where all the hot money was. It's
Yeah.
okay. I strongly believe we are going to see this wave, this mega wave, go for a very long time. The Golden Goose is going to throw so many more names at us. Don't just understand why you screwed it up. Even me, I drew down too much. I own it. I'm a human being.
Mhm.
I've just had a long, long history of at bats.
Yeah.
40 years of at bats. If you can catch a monster every 3 years, a stock that doubles or triples, you're going to be worth whacked out money if you don't spend too much.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say you've had a lot of at bats, but you're still in the game in a big way, still hitting some pretty big hits there, Jim.
They're not going to stop coming. They're
Yeah.
just there until the golden goose is suffocated by socialism, which is on the move. Very scary to me. But the capital markets do not look like they're going to make a lot of head. The market doesn't believe that they're going to damage things too much in the short term. That's why I think the next presidential election is going to be absolutely critical. I mean,
Ah,
we could cement in the balance of my life, probably the next 20 years, if we get um, a, a solid president. If things swing the other way and socialism ramps, uh, capitalism will be slowly, it'll be creeping socialism, and that will be, it will be suffocate. All you can slim guys who've made a fortune and you got rich, you do not want to see the golden goose suffocated. I'm the comments column. I know there's going to be people throwing eggs at me. Bring it
as
on.
long as they're golden eggs. As long as
Mm.
they're golden eggs. Um, Jim, fantastic stuff as always. Where can the audience find more Jim?
Um, at Uptickin on Twitter, Roppel Report. I will answer all your questions tomorrow night. Any questions you have, I answer everybody's questions every Wednesday night. And then this Sunday, I'll put out a monster report of all the leaders, everything you need to know how to implement Can Slim, all my best ideas. And Allie, thank you so much for the opportunity. I love doing the
We love it.
monthly
Monday,
recap.
yeah,
And one last thing,
we love it. Great.
with interest rates rocking up, a $24
Mhm.
billion hedge fund blowing up, AI memory names and optics getting obliterated, and two wars ongoing, and 42% bears, and we're at all-time highs. What if something goes right? Then what? Maybe that's what we need to get us out of here. All right, I've dragged this thing on. Thank you.
We love it. All right. Thank you, Jim. We'll see you back here next month.
Take care.
And thanks everyone for tuning in. That's it from us for today. And we'll see you back here next month for another installment of Monthly Market Report with Jim Roppel. So we'll see you then, everyone.